it's a complete lie.
It's a good one. I like that. Yeah, we'll find out.
Let's get rid of that quick. Let's see if I can find this on my actual. Okay. This is coming up, but it's
Is that what's on there?
This is your Facebook?
Yep.
That's your Facebook. Okay, good. All right.
We limit that light on it. Turn this tab.
This?
Yeah. See it?
That's Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. If you turn it, not the whole table, but just the camera, like slightly. Yep, that's good. And the other ones, it's on Instagram too. I don't really know that it matters.
No, that's yeah, up at the top. Yeah.
I don't really care.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's okay.
if you guys could let me know if you can hear me all right, and if you can see me okay on Facebook, Instagram. How are we doing here on YouTube? Can you hear and see okay? Once we get a thumbs up from everybody, a couple people, we're going to go ahead and move forward. Here comes the cat. You are covered in cat hair already. Here he comes. Let's try not to make eye contact.
Yeah, I'll just think.
Pretend it's not happening. Okay, good. Hello. Okay, so we can see and hear you clearly on Facebook. Excellent. And we look okay over here?
Yep.
Okay. Could you do me a favor? Could you run and grab my water?
Yep.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started here with the weekly horoscopes in just a second. Thank you. We're going to give people one more second to tune in. Feel free to start typing your questions in the comments. Paul needs
names.
Names of living, names of deceased, names of your pets, anyone that you're asking about. Include a name.
Hi, Jesus. I love
Jesus loves to join and give healing. Can you sit down, please? Can you sit down? Maybe he'd like to go outside.
You want to go up one? Check it out. It'll be awesome.
You go outside?
Look, it's so good out there.
We're going to be taking the questions after the horoscopes. So at the end of the horoscopes, I say, okay, thank you for joining. That's just for YouTube purposes. The show does continue on after that, where we start taking those personal questions. For those of you who have not subscribed to me on YouTube, I did put the link above, or you can find me at Reverend Ivy Rivera. I think it's called Ask a Medium. Actually, on YouTube, you subscribe and you get your monthly horoscopes for November. I'm putting those out over the course of the next 3 to 4 days, so check it out. There are a lot of things that I put up on YouTube that don't go up on Instagram and Facebook, so you may want to subscribe there. All right, we're going to go ahead and get into it here. Everything looks good?
Yeah.
And get started? Okay.
I do believe.
I'm Ivy Rivera. This is Ask a Medium. I am a psychic medium. I'm going to be giving your weekly horoscope, every zodiac sign, for Thursday, October 24th to Thursday, October 31st. Let's see what's going on with you, starting with Aries. Today is Thursday, starting with Aries. Aries, the first thing that I'm feeling with you is emotion going forward and a halting. I feel you being very reflective on other people, different situations, the way that you're saying things, the way that you're communicating with people, the way that people are receiving the information and your output. What this feels like to me is that you have possibly found yourself in some hot button topics or hot button situations. There could be something potentially volatile going on, and you want to avoid that. I don't feel like you're overestimating the situation or giving it more power than what it deserves. I feel that it's wise for you to be cautious as you move forward in conversations and these different situations. But I do also feel that it's really important for you to be authentic this week. So I'm actually feeling coming up Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday into next week. Tuesday, Wednesday in particular could be really strong in this particular area where it's imperative that you say your truth, that you speak your mind, and that you have a sense of, I want to say diplomacy, yes, fine, but that you're also, you're not sugarcoating anything, making people think that something isn't as big a deal as it seems. Sometimes situations are going to eventually become urgent, or the mistakes that are being made, the things, the details that are being overlooked, the things that people are poo-pooing as no big deal, they are critical. And you might be the only one who has the guts to just say it. And I feel like as long as you're saying it respectfully and kind of pulling your energy back right away afterward, I do think it's going to be heard. And I actually think that you could find yourself in a position to be overheard by someone in a position of power who might appreciate that honesty from you, that leadership from you, and the way that I want to say you're having foresight. And it does appear that some car issues are either coming up or the potential to purchase a new vehicle. I feel like I'm looking at Thursday and Friday, which would be today and tomorrow, where we're talking about either new tires, upgrades. We're talking about something possibly going under the engine. And for some of you, I almost felt like, oh, well, I had some repairs made and now it feels like a new vehicle. This could be a metaphor for your life. So I want to say that in your love lives, also, you're going to want to make sure that you're really investing the time in what's old. Sometimes we think we're kind of done with the relationship, or we let somebody fall to the wayside and we're like, well, we've already been through it, or it's been a long time, or whatever it is. I don't feel that many of you have actually been investing in your relationships to the degree that you should have been. And there may be more there than what you thought. Taurus, what is going on with you this week? Thursday and Friday, which is today and tomorrow, I have you being playful, talkative, chatty. I have you also reaching out and trying to, it's almost like break bread with other people, eat with other people, socialize in a sharing manner with others and peers. It almost looked like a bunch of kids that sit down at the lunch table at school, and it's like, I'll trade you grapes for my ho-ho, whatever it is. So it almost seems to me like you found yourself in a situation today and tomorrow, depending on where you are in the world. You may have had very pleasant exchange with people, and people were letting you in. People were really involving you in their social exchange and network, and a sense of community is growing. I think, though, you're supposed to be taking a little bit more out of these types of scenarios than what you have been. So I want to say that it's important that you're really examining tomorrow, Saturday, again on Monday, in the early morning and into the afternoon, how those dynamics are really working. Because what's actually going on behind the scenes here is that you're finding yourself in more of a leadership position than what you had in the past. And with that leadership position, you're realizing that you don't have to come at things like other people do in positions of power. You don't have to do it from a place of ego or from force or for the sake of rulership. You're doing it more for the highest and best good of the entire community. And when you do that and you include everyone, you're realizing that you're moving up rather quickly in the ranks. And I do have somebody coming to you potentially on Wednesday, but it also seems like another opportunity is coming to you Thursday afternoon or into the evening, where you're being offered a benefit, a bonus, an opportunity from that attitude that you have, from that good character that you've displayed. And I feel like by all means, you should be taking this. I also feel a lot of grandmother energy reaching out to you this week, maternal energy, aunties, sisters, friends. That's your ancestors. And it feels that there's talk of healing your heart. A lot of the Taurus people that I'm feeling today seem to be coping and healing from a previous heartbreak or heartache. And I'm under the impression that this may have been lingering for some time and you didn't know what to say. You didn't really know what to do with it. It was as though you had maximized everything that you were able to do. And so your hands were tied and you've been sitting and waiting for some breakthroughs. I do feel those breakthroughs coming through these ancestors and through these maternal energies living in your life. I'm giving you some wisdom. So keep your ears open and watch other people as an example. So a lot of release going on with Taurus and that particular topic. Heal your heart and stop thinking about it, but go through that door, go forward, and allow for new love to come in. If you are already in a relationship and this has just been dragging out for some time, in your marriage or your long-term committed situation here, we would be looking at a breakthrough, allowing you to have the sense of direction and wisdom about what to do now. Okay, what to do next. Am I staying? Am I going? What does it mean? Gemini. What is going on with my fellow Geminis for this week? Okay, we have a couple different things going on here. I'm hearing opportunity coming in. I'm hearing that it would come from someone in a position to gift you something. And it doesn't necessarily come to the forefront. It doesn't come presented to you or to the table at that time as money. It sounds more like it's an opportunity to build with others. It's a networking opportunity. It's about exposure. It's about communication. It's about media. It's presented as something very different. However, directly after that, and what the consequence of taking it would be, is a direct stack of cash that goes into your bank account, so to speak. And with that money, I feel stability, meaning it will be there long term. It is also the type of stability where I would say that you could build upon it. So it's the type of investment that you want to take because it allows for future investments and growth. I actually see it being converted into real estate somehow for you. You can figure that out. However, whether that's residential, commercial, it's, I feel that you're going to be able to use it in that direction in your life. And even if for some of you it is commercial or it is connected to your business, you may find yourself actually living on that property or being able to have a more secure house residential situation based on that particular move. So I feel great about all of that. I'm also feeling some whispers coming in here from a lover, from a partner, from a spouse. I have somebody trying to talk to you, get you to come to the table and put your cards down. It seems that a lot of my fellow Geminis have been holding back. You may have been holding back on the amount of love that you're willing to give. You may have been holding back on the support that you've been willing to give. And it seems at some point you were wounded, whether you were wounded by this person, you were wounded in the past. It seems that this walling off has sort of reached its end. And if we're going to evolve in this current relationship, you're going to have to let some walls down. Cancer, my fellow Cancers. Let's see what we have going on here. I have you very, very playful this week. I almost get the sense of a child who was let out for recess. And you look to me like you have a very sincere, simplistic, community-oriented attitude and mindset about everything. Very free, very open, very heart on the sleeve. There's an attitude with you this week of carelessness, and I think it's great and refreshing because you can sometimes look so guarded. And my sense with this is that you are able to do this to a heightened ability than what you have been in the past. I no longer see from here on out you going forward and then taking 2 steps back, or you going forward and becoming stagnant, you putting yourself out there and then looking like a deer in the headlights, you know, at the first sign of anxiety. I see you being able to go with the flow more easily. And I don't feel like I'm just talking about these social situations. I feel like you on this playground doesn't just have to do with your interaction with others, but also circumstances, opportunities, the world around you, you in the universe, having a sense of being empowered. Also, you may be figuring out a lot more about law of attraction and manifestation right now in your life. My feeling with this, Cancers, is that you do this for anywhere from like 2 to 3 hours, and then you like to pull back. You may do this for 2 to 3 days, and then you like to pull back for an entire day. Whatever it is, we have a 2-2-3 system here. And I think that it's important to remember that part of that flow, to keep that roll going and to stay in that higher vibration without all of these pauses and anxieties and overthinking, part of that does actually require that you pull back. You create that personal space for yourself. So don't jeopardize that. I do want to say, from the majority of Cancers, I have a weight around your left ankle, weight around your right ankle. What that's going to mean is that circumstances have been holding you back, and that in some fashion, you are also holding yourself back. So it's going to be really important over the course of this next upcoming week, Monday, Tuesday, and possibly even into Wednesday evening or Thursday morning for some of you. It's either going to break down that Monday, Tuesday, or that Wednesday, Thursday. You're going to have an opportunity to get loose, and you're going to have an opportunity to see that some of those circumstances have broken away, and you need to celebrate that, okay? A good attitude, an attitude of gratitude, will attract more of it to you. Don't hold back. Leos, what's happening with you? Leos, I have you decorated, and it's interesting because what they're showing me are earrings. Now, whether you're male or female, and who cares, it doesn't matter, but I see earrings, and what that's going to mean is that your ears are decorated, that your ears are on. It's a beautification symbol, but it has more to do with what you do with your ears. And I'm actually hearing that it isn't just about you quieting yourself. It's not just about you listening and hearing more from spirit and hearing more from your higher mind. It's also about the observations that you're making visually. So I am watching you see, okay? See the world clearly. When I say see, I'm not really talking about the eyes, okay? And the ears, it's more your third eye. It's your higher mind. That is truly hearing. That is truly seeing. That is truly feeling. That's the reality of the world around you. And for a while, it seems like you've been living in a bit of a shadow or a little darkness. You've been a little confused about things. I see you coming out of this really strong on Saturday. And then again, this upcoming Thursday. For some of you, this is affecting your relationship with your children. So for those of you who have been having struggles, and I know that a lot of parents are having struggles with their kids right now. I'm not an astrologer, but I would say pay attention to the planets. There's a lot of movement right now that involves causing your children to be full of rebuttal and fire and wanting to push for their independence. Okay, so I feel you coming to some conclusion with all of that, having more peace and harmony where that's concerned. For other Leos, I have a closing on a chapter, whether this is an old lover, this is someone new that you've met with soulmate connection, but they're from a previous life. This is someone you've had in your life currently, but it isn't working. I feel closing of a chapter or a new level of understanding with a love partner, and it is old, it does go way back. Virgo, what is going on with you? Virgo, I have an anointing oil pouring down on your crown chakra. Now, what that's going to mean to me is that, okay, here's a good way to say this. People come to earth with a gift. That gift cannot be removed from you. But if you don't have the character, you don't have the integrity, if you haven't learned to really polish your personality so that you can maximize this gift, it can end up not looking like much of a gift at all. Now, for those of you who are doing that inner work, and you've not only taken your gift, but you're also using your good moral integrity and character to push your lives forward, to push your agenda forward. And it is for the highest and best good. What we're going to see is an anointing from God, an anointing from the universe. And this anointing allows you to do things that are supernatural. It is beyond anything you would normally be able to do. And it is certainly going to be far beyond anything anyone else in your circle is probably doing, unless they have the same thing. Now, this comes down on you through your crown chakra. I see it pouring, okay, from God above onto the crown, which is where you receive all of your channeling information. This is where we communicate with God. We communicate with our ancestors. We communicate with angels and saints and our guides and things like this. It goes right on down past your third eye, your higher mind. And then I saw it dripping down the left side of you. This is what's interesting about this. You're going to find yourself capable of beyond anything you thought you were in recent years. Possibly for some of you ever in the history of your life. You're going to notice that this new anointed ability that you have is earned, okay? And that you're being blessed to go forward. And when it happens, if you take it and you keep moving with it, and quite frankly, I don't know how you wouldn't. I don't even know how much of a choice this really is. But if you're mindful, you're going to notice that so many things from your past that had been damaged, and this could be anything. For some of you, I'm seeing childhood. For some of you, I'm seeing abuse. For some of you, I'm seeing drug addiction. For some, it's almost like paranormal attack, or, I don't believe in family curses, generational curses. I think that's more psychology and damage, habitual environmental problems. But all of that, I see this being healed and you being released, okay? Chains, literally, being removed from the wrist, being removed from the feet. For some of you, I also see a baby coming in. So for those who've been trying to conceive or adopt or foster care, we could be looking at that. Some of you might be meeting someone who also is bringing a child into the relationship. I see new love. Libra, what is going on with you for the week? Libra, I have you going forward, and I have you with a sense of, I want to say, high self-esteem, a great sense of accomplishment. And then it's as though you stall out a little bit and you're kind of looking behind you to the right. I am under the impression that there is something going on that you haven't dealt with. And it is becoming a bit of a skeleton in the closet, stuff swept under the carpet, unfinished business type of a theme that you understand you cannot allow to linger. You can't. Now, there are some of you that seem to be suffering the consequences of it around that time and as we go forward, but it isn't yours. It's due to a lover. It's due to a spouse. Others, I almost feel as though I'm looking at your parents or a child. Someone around you may have decided at some point that they were not going to grow up. We've got Peter Pan syndrome. We've got a complete denial. We've got, drinking or escapist tendencies in some way. And they're basically saying, I don't care who's affected by it. And it is now trickling over into your world. You're going to have to get the upper hand on that, whether you like it or not, whether you think it's your responsibility or not. And I want to say, find a way to set up boundaries, whether it be legal, it be in even a written contract, or just an agreement, a verbal agreement, and then really watch and make sure there's follow through. You cannot let it affect your finances, your schedule, your mental health and well-being, okay, and your physical health. Other Libras, I also have someone childlike coming in, asking for your assistance. They want you to help them build something. You could find yourself in a mentor type of position this week. And I want to say, especially Wednesday, I'm hearing a lot about this. Let me put it this way. Even if it's not something you really want to do, and even if you're like, well, I'm not really going to get any benefits from this, I feel like at this point, your sense of expertise in this area is really valuable. And I just want to remind you and everybody else that the things that we learn here in the world, this is a big classroom. It's meant to be given out. It's not just to be hoarded and for your own survival or for you to thrive. Real thriving is giving. So give and take the time. Scorpio, what is going on with you? Scorpios, I want to warn a bunch of you on Tuesday, and I'm even hearing Monday evening. And I want you to be careful also Saturday night. I want to say that it's important that you're not overusing, that you're not over drinking, that you're not over smoking, whatever it is, you need to be mindful. Some of you seem to also be in some kind of mentality that if you're going through some type of a spiritual journey, you know, you should have maybe somebody leading it, or I want to say it's a big thing these days. Don't get a shaman to lead you through this. You know who that is, and remember, you're your own shaman. Okay, you don't need somebody to lead you down some big journey, especially if they don't know, get their head up their own rear end. I mean, you have to be really careful. You lead yourself. Okay, spirit will lead and guide you. You don't have to be altered to do that and to get to the next level. For those of you that are doing it more as a sense of escape, I want to say this is no time to be toying around with that type of energy. Try to find a more natural approach to getting in touch with a higher state of elevated sensation. You're really lacking a little confidence right now is kind of the key issue, and you're looking to feel something. Don't take that route. It does feel a bit dangerous in the paranormal sense. I'm also feeling that for a lot of you, it looks like Thursday, Friday, and I'm hearing that we could be looking at some of this next Wednesday. I do feel a sense of heightened psychic ability. It's as though you're having a lot of prophetic dreams, you're having a lot of visions about the future, and you're having a lot of visit dreams, astral travel, things like this. You're going to want to journal this and wait to test it out in the future and see if in fact it does play out. Some of the things that you're seeing are more about those around you. Some of them are about world events. Okay, so this is a really powerful place for you to be right now. Sagittarius, what's going on with you? I have somebody whispering in my left ear, and when they're doing that, I almost felt like a sense of, what do you want? You know, what do you want? And I want to say that the majority of you are going to be receiving this spirit who feels more like a guide. For some of you, it could very well be an ancestor giving you guidance. A lot of male energy coming through over here. So fathers, grandfathers, brothers, uncles. When they come through, you might get a weird ringing in your ears. A lot of people think that they have tinnitus. Tinnitus is really if it isn't actually tinnitus, okay? And let's face it, the majority of the time, I really do believe that it is this. They are spirits coming in when it's the left ear. They want to communicate with you. The grandmothers used to say, left for love, right for spite, and that was fairly accurate. So when the left ear rings, it's a spirit. It's like a telephone. Spirit comes in, they want to give you a message. What they do afterward is they put a thought in your head. You're not going to know that they put that thought in your head. You're going to think that it is your own thought because it comes in your inner voice. So pay attention to the messages that they're giving. My sense here is that some of this messaging that's going to be coming through for you is about you pushing forward and you releasing. Something happened within the last 3 to 4 weeks, 3 to 4 months that has got you rattled. It shook you and it made you fearful. It made you feel less like, I see the Fool card in tarot, you know, it's made you feel less free, less willing to go by blind faith. And you're waiting to have all your ducks in a row. You're procrastinating. I want to say this isn't you. This isn't natural for you. And this particular situation is being karmically dealt with. And what you need to do is understand that things can happen to you and they aren't you. So don't accept it as part of who you are. Don't let it change you. Capricorn. First thing I'm getting with you, Capricorn, is finding around the ankle on the right foot. And what that's going to mean is that you are finding yourself in a position where you're being encouraged by the universe. You're being provoked even to move forward, and you're kind of refusing. You're really resistant to it in such a way where you've locked yourself up. You hold the keys to this chain around your ankle. You have all the answers, but you know that it's time to go forward. So you're taking the actions, but it's almost like you're faking it. It's almost like you're trying to psych yourself out. And for a lot of you, this feels to me like it has to do with applying for jobs or putting yourself out there in a new line of work. And you're trying to say, oh, I'm totally confident that I could take on this position. And then it's sort of like you're falling apart behind the scenes. For others, I feel like this really has a lot to do with your dating life or your love life. And even if you're in a committed relationship, it could be about taking it up to that next level. I feel like you guys kind of faking it a bit. Now, the thing is, I understand that you want to stay in a safety zone and put one toe in the water, but that's not really an option here. And we have to be careful who we are potentially hurting or dragging in to what we are selling. All right. So you shouldn't be on the market if you aren't marketable. You shouldn't be putting yourself out there and applying for jobs if you don't have skill in that particular field. And if you do get brought into this situation, if you do find yourself dating someone, or if you do find yourself hired, that's great. But roll with it. Push yourself forward. Then, live up to the standard of what you said you were able to give. So a little bit of testing going on there with that. And it also feels to me like you have some things almost like unresolved. Some things I'm seeing in the trunk of your car, so to speak, symbolically. There could be a lot of cleaning out that needs to happen. And I do feel like you need to lighten your load, okay, from things that have happened in those areas and just toss them to the side of the road, so to speak. The car will go faster if you do. Aquarius, what is going on with you? I have you directing this week. I have it starting as something funny. You are just at the peak of charm this week. So I have you really coming in to what looked to me like some type of a meeting. So whether it be family, it be business, just be typical work environment stuff. I saw you coming in and sort of dictating using humor and your conversational finesse, the way that this more unpleasant topic was being presented. And people were just like, their palates were wet. They were just eating it up. They're eating it up because it's you. Anyone else who would have presented it, and I see the other options around you right now, and they're not good. Anyone else who would have presented this, it would have gone haywire. Now, because of this, you have an opportunity for something more, to expand out into something greater. And I am looking at, I want to say, it feels to me like Monday, and then it feels like on Wednesday evening, you may be getting a call. Keep your ears open Thursday morning and into the afternoon. You may be getting an email or a text, some type of confirmation about this promotion. I see a crown going onto your head, and that's going to represent a position of royalty, so to speak, or something that you earned, and it's obviously power. Okay, so this is something that you definitely want to give the time and attention to, maximize. I'm also feeling as though some people and a potential trip, something in your life that you wanted for a while that was going to be fun, engaging, enlightening for you. You kept postponing it. You kept saying, I can't have that right now. I can't afford it. I don't have the time in my schedule. Or turning these people away. And that time is sort of up, okay? So it's sort of rolling in, coming to get you, and you do need to plan it and go. Pisces. What is going on with Pisces? First thing I'm getting for you, Pisces, is Q-tips. And I'm watching you clean out your ears, and that is going to be symbolic of nothing super gross. I wasn't sure if it was going there or not. It looks to me like it has more to do with you opening your eyes, listening clearly, listening to others, and settling yourselves down. It looks like the last couple weeks, they keep saying 2. So whether this is 2 days or 2 weeks, for some of you, maybe even been 2 months, you've been really active and you've been really avoidant, and you haven't taken much time to slow down. The thing I want to say to you is this: you can look as though you're in control on the outside, and you can look as though you're moving slow or you're super chill, but you're really high strung on the inside, and you're not going inward enough and being centered, rooted, grounded. You have a sense of chronic anxiety, nervousness, or a need to control situations outside of you. Avoidance tactics, whether it be, smoking, getting high, drinking, pills, escapist, oversleeping a lot. There seems to be a theme here with you fairly recently. And my sense is that you went through a period of success where things were going very well and then got overwhelmed. And this was your way of, instead of slowing it down, creating space for yourself. And this isn't the kind of space that we want to keep going. I do see a lot of birds coming in, so I want to say watch out for cardinals. This would be loved ones coming in to communicate with you. I also feel like watch out for hawks. These are messenger birds from your guides. We want to see birds coming in from the left to the right. That means your past going into your future, never from the right to the left. It means you're going in reverse. Pay attention to these things. And this week, if there's something that you want, especially on Thursday, it's an opportunity for you to speak up. I see some of you going up in front of a crowd. I see some of you presenting something. I see some of you having an opportunity to go up in front of someone in a position of power. And you're going to need to really bring your A game, and you're going to need to go in there with an attitude of, I will not settle. I will not back down. This is a non-negotiable. And it's almost like I come in peace, but I'm carrying a big stick. And you're going to have to follow through with that. So go and get what is yours on Thursday. On Friday, I'm hearing new love. So whether you're doing something new with a current lover or you're meeting someone new, it seems to be like I'm hearing ding, ding, ding. And that feels to me almost like, reminds me of almost like Tinder, it's like ding, 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 someone's there. So I'm hearing connections being made, and pay attention to who is around you on Friday. Looks fun. Thanks everyone for tuning in for the horoscopes. We are going to get to the live show now, so keep posting your questions below. For those of you viewing through YouTube, thank you for your kind comments, your likes, and for subscribing. I will be putting your November horoscopes up in the next few days. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. How are we doing here? How's everybody doing?
Tweak this one.
You tweaked it?
Tweak it.
You tweaked the paranormal and dreams?
That in dreams too.
Oh, okay, good.
That's where I was putting them. So.
Do we want to start there, or does that seem like a good thing?
Sure.
To do?
Yeah,
Okay,
this is a
very
good one. I like it.
Okay.
Ready?
Yup.
All right.
That's why I'm here. Let's go. Let's do it.
This one is from Julia Elizabeth.
Okay.
Recurring dream question. In the dream, I bought my house and did a ton of home improvement. It's perfect. I love it. Been living in it for months to a year. For some reason, there was a contingency with the sellers and they are taking the house back. I'm heartbroken, trying to keep the house, etc. There really isn't a resolution in the dream.
Okay. A house represents you. We have a class called Dreams. I was super creative on that title. It's a 2-hour downloadable class. And one of the things that we talk about in there is that pretty much the most common dream to have is about a house. It's about a property. The house always represents you. Now, in the house, you're feeling as though you made it your space. You're in love with it. You're in harmony. This is a great situation, right? And then somebody came to take it away from you. So what you're going to want to do is examine who's in your life right now and what situations are in your life right now that are threatening your inner harmony and peace. You have to take your house back. Okay, how about one of these?
All right. This one's from Instagram.
Okay.
With like LML312. Really missing a close friend of Vanessa, hoping for a message from her.
Okay. When I have Vanessa coming in here, she makes me feel like, okay. I almost feel like some talk of reproductive stuff. Can't prescribe or diagnose, but I'm just sort of aware of something going on and her bringing some healing. She's funny. She seems to always have a comeback. She seems to always have something to say. She seems to always have something up her sleeve. And I feel like the banter between the two of you and the dialogue between the two of you is just sort of like a stream of consciousness. It just goes and goes and feels good. I'm under the impression what she's showing me is that like she could come in and make you feel better. You could come in and make her feel better. So she said the Blues Brothers. It's almost like the Blues Buddies. It's like when you're sad, talk to me. I will uplift you. And when I'm sad, that's what you could do for me. So there's a beautiful balance that the two of you have. I want to say that looking at this relationship, on a side note, it also looks like there could have been some past life connection here where the two of you were siblings because you know each other far too well for it to just be exclusively this life. She loves you very much, and she said, keep talking, keep joking, keep talking, keep joking. She said that sometimes you hear yourself and you're like, it's almost like something she would have said, or you hear yourself and you're laughing at your own self. It's like you're entertained by your own self. She gets a kick out of you and loves you very much. She's doing very well. I don't know if you're having the back pain. I also feel something going on here, but I'm feeling almost like a slip disc or some kind of like, issue in the back that's sort of a nagging pain. And she's trying to bring some healing to that also. We have one from here?
Yes.
Okay.
This is from 438. I'm having a really difficult time for quite an extended period of time now. I am very proactive in my life, but I have to say I'm ready to give up at this point and that I have come to feel completely powerless over my life. Do you see any positive changes coming anytime soon? That's her name.
Okay.
Name.
Do I see any positive changes coming in for you soon? You feel like you're at the end. One of the things that I'm feeling is that you need a new routine. And I think that's the type of thing that you're going to have to create for yourself. However, it's interesting that Spirit is a gentleman, right? And the universe never expects us to take a step without showing us where the path is, where the next step is. You may not see the whole path, but you definitely have a step there to land on. And my sense is that some things have been shown to you and some things will continue to be shown to you that you could do to involve yourself in more either group activity, spiritual development, self-development. It's as though you have a couple different outlets that you haven't really tapped into, including cardio or yoga. And it's important that you aren't doing the same thing every day. One of the biggest problems that you have currently is this routine is stagnant and the energy in your atmosphere is stagnant. I would say go cleanse and bring in some new like plants or, something that you love to look at, but that's not really going to fix it. It has more to do with where you're spending your time and who you're spending your time with. So bring in these two new elements and see if it doesn't lead to more. We have one from here.
So Pam Harris, Ivy, my front door flew open on Monday. Was it the wind or my mom Judy? It was intense.
I am actually feeling like this particular situation was the wind. I wish I had something more interesting to say. I do feel like it was the wind. Not to say that your mother isn't around for sure, but she's a little bit more subtle. And I feel that she's more deliberate in coming through when she really has something specific to say. She does watch over you a great deal, though, and she is in the house a great deal. I do not see your mother coming through the door a great deal. It's more like in the living room, the bedroom, down that one hallway. See a bathroom over here. And she visits you a lot in dreams. She loves you very much. I do think that particular situation, though, was the wind. We have one here.
Yes.
Okay.
This is from Bob Anderson Weston. Will my daughter open up and come back to me? And the daughter's name is Holly.
Barb, will Holly come back? Holly feels pretty resistant, and I'm under the impression that this may not be changing anytime soon. She seems to have a set of ideas about what went wrong, primarily in the dialogue between the two of you. She's very, I almost want to say fed up. She's very fed up with the communication. She's very fed up with the way that she felt, I'm hearing boundaries were put on her, but I also felt like her boundaries weren't respected. So both ways. And she seems to think that you did something very manipulative, or that you are manipulative, and that you choose to be self-serving versus think of the community as a whole. And so I think that if you're in a place where you do want to claim that blame, the only real way to open up any kind of communication would be through an apology that involves that particular topic. But she really feels pretty walled off regardless, and I think that communication would be minimal. Do what you can, but do not take blame where you feel it isn't your fault. That's how that looks. This one?
Yes, 418.
Okay.
Wanted to know if I still have any of my attachments, and if so, how to get rid of them.
Attachments, paranormal attachments. Does she still have any of her paranormal attachments? I think that you've done a good job of clearing things. There is one sort of looming situation going on that's a little bit like it's almost like a drain, and it may even cause some health problems. So I can't prescribe or diagnose, but if you were having any issues with, liver stones, kidney stones, anything with the organs in this filtration system, it would appear that you were under attack for a period of time. I think, though, that you've been pretty diligent about getting rid of this problem. I think ultimately there were 3 things that you had to clear, and it would appear that you got help. Now, wherever you got this help from, I just want to explain this not just to you, but to everybody. You have to understand that getting help with paranormal attachment, a haunted house, a possession, any of that isn't the end-all be-all, and no one can do that for you. We have a class called Hauntings, Clearings, and Detachments. This is very basic stuff, but it will help you to understand and be educated on how these things get in, how they're maintained, and how you can get rid of them and keep them away. It does not ever include someone else coming in and fixing it for you. It will always require your utmost involvement. So the most important thing for you to remember at this point is that you're not allowing. Nope, I'm not allowing. Nope, I am not giving that thing my attention. I am not feeding it with fear, even right down to your health. I am not going to worry about my health. Do not feed it with fear or negativity. Be in control. And as soon as you start to feel that something is stirring again, you need to clear it out and reset those boundaries. Sometimes it's good to recharge, okay? It's kind of like a phone. You can't keep draining it and not recharge it. That's how cleansing goes. It's not like the movies when, one person goes in and they clear your whole house and everything's fixed. It depends, too, on what was there, and it depends on how long it was allowed to be there. You have to expect the cleansing process to be longer in those extended type situations. We have one here.
Yes, this one is from YouTube, Emily H.
Okay.
I keep seeing triple numbers like 333, 222, 555, and 444 for months, and not sure why.
Okay, so triple numbers are basically patterned numbers, and they follow certain people. I do believe that numbers follow everybody from time to time, just like everybody's psychic and everybody's a medium. Numbers will follow you because numbers are a system of communication that the universe uses. It's a hidden language. It's a lost language. We discuss this in level 1 psychic mediumship development. That's always on running at the academy here, but we also have this coming up November 14th. You would find this interesting. You need to learn the language. The thing is, numbers follow some people more. I call these numerology people. Those who have numbers following them all the time would also notice patterns within their family of like certain birthdays match other people's death dates. And the people that you attract to your life or certain situations that come into your life always seem to match numerologically. Now, one of the most important things to understand about numbers is that you want to get the right definitions. And you can look through Google up basic old school traditional numerology. You can listen to the message that that number is telling you and understand that it applies to where you are in your self-development at that time. A lot of people confuse the numbers that they're seeing with their loved ones, and they think, oh, you know, they just want to let me know that they're around, or this is something about them. This is always about you, and it's always about your development. It's always a message for how you would best be seeing the world and your situation at this time to maximize your prosperity and growth. They change because once you've learned that lesson or you've gone through that period, that process, you're on to something else. This one?
Yes. This one is from Instagram.
Okay.
It's Bigglesworth 1000.
Bigglesworth.
Oh, yeah. What exactly is deja vu? What does it mean when I experience it?
Okay. What is deja vu and what is it? Well, we have an ability to do time travel, I believe. So what happens is we're experiencing multiple existences simultaneously. We can be in the past, in the present, in the future, and we don't know how to really comprehend that. So what we have is a strange, almost tunneling type of an experience that we call deja vu. Deja vu will come on like a light switch. It will put you into an almost trance-like state of thinking and feeling and understanding, and then turn back off when you've lived out the vision. It's not really a vision, though. It may have at some point been a prophetic vision of the future. But the reality of a lot of deja vus is that they've already occurred. So you could be going backward, you could be going forward. It's really hard to say where you are in time. You will feel automatically like you entered into this state of existence, usually just for a few moments, and you had a complete familiarity, a complete understanding about where you are, who you are in it, who you're with, what it's all about. And then not really understand how you knew it without knowing it, how you had this knowledge and experience prior when you didn't. You have no evidence of it. So what's important to remember is that that was a significant moment. There are lessons. There is some kind of opportunity. There is some larger communication going on between you and the universe at that time, and you do need to hold on to those moments and analyze them. Sometimes you can have one of these when you're like 3, 4, 5 years old, and it'll kick in, you know, when you're in your 60s or something. And these are important moments. I've had some that took 14 plus years to play out. Let's take one of these.
All right. This is Don DeLucia.
Okay.
Hi, Ivy. I just started a job, part-time. Will it go to full-time, and was it a good move? Thank you.
Just started a job part-time. Will it go to full-time? Was it a good move? Yes. 3 to 4 months. The 5th month going into the 6th month will look very different for you. You could find yourself in a different position, or being transferred a bit, or being almost like you're given a different role. There could be some growth and expansion on this. I do feel like it was a good move, and I feel like it's an opportunity for you to get some things under your belt, or, you know, to put some things in your pocket to build up that portfolio. where you normally would have gone off and done something that was incredibly similar, a bit like treading water. So it was an important move, but it's not the end all be all. We need to keep pushing forward and get more experience when offered. Yes. And I'm hearing, don't be shy to ask for it. Okay. Soon. Yeah. I want you to kind of guide this a little bit more because you know what's out there.
So this is from Candy Thompson Cutrona.
Okay.
My dad's been gone 10 months today. Does he have a message for me? And the dad is Robert.
Candy Catrona looking to speak with Robert, her father.
Mm-hmm.
When he comes in here, he's a little almost like slow. You know, I feel that he's a man who takes his time. I feel like he could appreciate detail. I also feel like his mind could be very busy. So he's one of these people that reminds me of like slow on the outside, busy on the inside. There's a lot of thinking going on with him all the time. He said he's thinking about you all the time. He's present all the time. He wants you to hold on to your faith. He keeps showing me a cross. A cross is my symbol of having faith in higher power to take care of you. He said that he has your back and that he's been putting his hands on your back. Giving you strength is what that symbolizes. But it also feels to me like he's referencing angel wings on your back. And he said that you have earned your halo because you have these angel wings. He says that you help anybody. You would help anyone. You would give the shirt off your back, that you're the first one to step up and be of service. He said that you've been either volunteering or you've been around in your social circle, giving more assistance there also. And he's very, very proud of you. I feel like I can tell if you wiped his mouth or if you had to feed him or if he was having problems controlling his mouth. But it seems to me that you may have been taking care of him in such a way that was really very intimate. And in those moments when you were feeding him or wiping his mouth, it seems that you shared some of the best moments. And even if they were difficult, okay, he just wants to wrap you and give you a hug, and he loves you very much. Sure.
It's from 471. Is my so-called friend doing and saying things to intentionally ruin my appearance or marriage? And that's the friend.
Is my so-called friend doing things to intentionally ruin my appearance or marriage? Yup. This person is a cat. So when I train my students in mediumship, we have a warning category, and those are foxes and cats, and sometimes owls come with warnings. I see her as a literal cat. This person is, how do I want to say this? A narcissist, and this person is, don't take it personally, because there isn't anyone who crosses this cat's path who doesn't, get toyed with to a point of death if she can have her way. She isn't really completely out for you, and she really isn't out to destroy you entirely. She's just out to sort of play a cat and mouse game where it's like she enjoys feeding off of discord. So if you find that she said something or she tried to interrupt your relationship and then you had discord in your relationship and it was like visible, or you talked to somebody else about it, it got through the grapevine, she enjoys this thoroughly. She enjoys watching you be discombobulated, frazzled, having your feathers ruffled in work or other social situations. And she really has an ultimate goal of taking you down a few pegs because there's a lot of jealousy. You're the kind of person who just doesn't even think that way. You have a way of being like, I almost feel like you wear your heart on your sleeve a bit. And I'm not saying stop doing that. By all means, that she wants to be that kind of person. But the thing is, you are sort of like an open book. And when you're an open book, and you're funny and you just say what comes to mind and you can, lighten the mood and all of that. It also makes you a little bit vulnerable because then when you're hurt or you're angry or you're on guard, it's also very visible, like an open book, so a narcissist can feed off of that easier. So yeah, boundaries. You are dead on accurate. Yep. Do we want to take one more?
Yes, one of those.
Sure.
It's from Juanita Hertia. Been chatting with a new man, older than me. I was wondering if you feel this is a good or not good relationship for me. Just curious, I guess. And his name is Greg.
Greg? And it's Juanita? Juanita? Huh. Greg. He's fun. But he's definitely not saying everything that's there. And you know it. And you're not paranoid to feel that you should keep an eye on him. Almost like you have a desire to test him. You have a desire to test his words to see if there's consistency. And he seems to he likes control. And he has a lot of stories that he kind of keeps from his past hidden away. And I don't really know when you would ever hear the extent of these stories. He does have a way of kind of repeating himself about his life situation, about his love life. It's almost like, I'm going to tell this story over again. I'm going to tell this story over again. I'm going to tell the story over again. It's almost like a script. And I feel that that's fairly accurate and authentic, but there's other stuff that never gets talked about. And I think that with this person, it would be hard to really get to know him, is all. If you take this forward, you would have to be realistic that there will always be parts of him that are off, out of bounds. What's the word I'm looking for? Off base? Off. Okay? His world. You don't come into that world. And you're going to have a growing sense of wanting that. So I think it's important to really understand who you are and pay attention to what triggers you're having, both positive and negative, when you're relating to him, because he's almost really here as a reflection of you. He's here to show you more of what you want and expect and are worthy of in a relationship. And if you just don't feel like the bonding experience is all there, you could just sort of be like, well, this is fun. I'm not expecting it to last necessarily, but I'm definitely going to have a good time while it's here. And I think that that's okay, but don't have amnesia that was your decision. And if he does let some guards down and you do feel comfortable with it, I feel a ton of compatibility here, really. Okay, thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. Couple quick things. The next live Ask a Medium show here on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Live is going to be November 7th. That is a Thursday. We have the spooktacular Spirit Fest coming up at Danny Fit Gym this Saturday. Yes?
Yeah.
October 26th, I am doing a gallery show. It might be sold out. There might be a couple tickets. I think it's 7 p.m. And then we have a psychic fair going on after that. Okay, so some readers from my Ivy League Psychic Academy and healers and Polly. We're going to be there offering readings to the public. She also has wine, food, vendors. It's going to be a ton of fun. So check that out. Spectacular. All of this is up on my website, ivyrivera.psychicmedium.com. We also have the Victorian Tea. That is my gallery show with private reads after at the beautiful Margin Manor Winery on Sunday, October 27th. We have Spirits with Spirits also psychic fair at Margin Manor Winery. This psychic fair, again, featuring me, Polly, students and graduates of the Ivy League Psychic Academy, True Light Workers. Come out for a great time November 3rd for that. Next Level 1 Psychic Mediumship Development class begins Thursday, November 14th. Hope to see you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks, Paul.
You're very welcome. And